All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the World Arena podcast, aka the WOPcast. Today, Firas and I are joined by fellow EU SWC contestant Seii. What's going on, man? Thank you for joining us.
No problem. Thanks for having me here.
Yeah, no problem.
All three EU server.
Huh?
But
yeah, we'll say it's actually from EU though, so
exactly.
It works out. he's where he belongs. You and I are just dumbasses. But
Wait, Zig, you're also on EU server?
Yeah, I did the same. I did the exact same thing Firas did back in the day, where I switched over when they were giving out free. But it's like a game that, like at that time, it's like I'm not gonna play this game for fucking 8 years. Why does it matter what server I'm on? Sure, I'll take the free stuff. Like I'll switch. Why not?
And then,
like 300 crystals.
Yeah, like screw it. I mean, that's.
Yeah, $15 of crystals really worth messing up complete time zones and everything.
I know.
Think about it. 7-8 years ago, that was a lot of crystals.
Yeah, especially if you weren't spending in the game at that time too. It was like,
exactly.
What do I care what server I'm on? Some random ass mobile game. Like I don't care. Yeah.
And here we are.
Yeah, which they should offer, like, even just sell it like other games do. Like $30, you can just transfer servers or something. Like
I thought about this before as well, and I think it's a very good thing if they would. The only issue it would create is that account theft and therefore account selling would increase. That's the only argument I can give why you would not be able to transfer servers.
Yeah,
because all good accounts from Europe and global would end up in China, like probably.
That's a good point.
That's the only feeling I have. So that's the only counter argument you can have. But I think it would be good to give it a possibility of switching like just once or twice on the account.
Yeah, because the only thing it affects really is regular arena and guild content, right? Like, because RTA is already worldwide, so it makes no difference what server you're on.
It matters for RTA. Well, just your refresh time, right? Like sometimes for me, 4 p.m. at a refresh time, it benefits me and it doesn't benefit me in some case. For us on EU, it does matter in RTA because we get 2 sets of wings on the last day, right, Zig?
Well, I mean, either way, at the end of the day, all servers get the exact same amount of wings throughout the season. We just get the last refresh of wings. So but it doesn't really actually matter. Like all servers get the exact same amount of wings over the course of the season. So,
but it makes sense to be chill, to have your wings resetting at 12, like at midnight, rather than at 4 p.m. Because otherwise, you always have to do your wings between 4 and 12.
Yep.
Let's say you sleep, you work, then the next day happens and it's like, okay, wait, I didn't do my wings yet. So
that's
then
me.
The 4 p.m. already
squeeze them in. Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a lot of rushing for me. That's why I'm like, when
it's the worst in Special League because the first week the queues are like fucking forever. So I was doing like a maximum of 10 wings a night because it's like I gotta squeeze them into like this 2.5 hour window and the queue is 15 minutes. So
yeah, super annoying.
I was like peaking out at like 10 wings a night. It was so bad. But anyways, the main thing for this podcast, this is going to be releasing on the 31st, so the last day of 2022. So mostly just want to talk about like what we want to see happen in 2023, and also just kind of do like a recap of the direction that the game went. Mostly all RTA focused, but the direction of RTA that happened during 2022 and how we'd like to either see it change, or I don't know, maybe someone here likes the way it's going and they want to see it continue to go the way it's going, or just really whatever. So we can start with you, Seii, though. Like, what's your overall feeling about 2022's RTA? Do you think was heading in a good direction, bad direction?
I think it's actually heading in a good direction because the meta we had for the last half year was the most versatile meta we ever had. Because previously, we always had, like, in the Hathor meta, it was just Hathor being good. And in the Molong meta, it was just Molong being good. Currently, you could arguably say, okay, Oliver is the only being good. But Oliver had hard counters, for example, Masha. And then you could say Masha is really good, but you had, like, some counters to that as well. And I think this was the first meta since, like, a really long time where, like, a lot of units were very good. rather than just one unit being very good and the rest is just LDs being good. So I felt that pretty forgiven for people that didn't have that many LDs. If they had the meta units like a Shizuka, a Marcia, a Oliver, they could perform very well.
Yeah.
So I kind of like the idea of that meta. It also made it quite more difficult to draft, I guess. That's the counter side to it. Because before you could just slam in shit, you use whatever is OP, but currently so many things are OP, so nothing is really OP.
Yeah. And it also makes it really tough if you're missing units. You know, it's like, I mean, I have most of the regular element Nat 5, so that's like for me, it's not a huge thing, but like I feel pretty bad for people who are like, yeah, I just don't have Shizuka and Masha. Like, I'm missing like 10 Nat 5s, 2 of them are Shizuka and Masha, and it's like, well, that fucking sucks. Good luck. You know, it's
I had that
really
with
tough.
more.
Yeah,
I was missing more
you
for
were
the
a
longest
perfect
time.
example. Yep.
Currently I have 69k summoning stones.
Yeah, I saw that. I follow you on Instagram. I saw that.
Yeah, I pulled more like 3 weeks ago, and then next week it's gonna be in summoning stone rotation. Like, guys, couldn't you have done that? Like, I've been shouting at people since last year December at the LA office.
Yeah, and then like not even a month later, now Oliver's in there too, right?
Yeah, like that's super fast because but also Oliver is before Miles, if I'm not mistaken, right?
He is, yeah, which is pissing me off because he's one of the few units I am missing. So
yeah, I know. For example, Sodoris is also the only unit he cares about is Miles, pretty much.
Yep. Oh, he still doesn't have one either. Fuck, they got a
Miles in the new unit. I mean, she's not going to be in there forever, but Zimbala I want so bad.
Zimbala's pretty nice, yeah.
I know I messaged you because I was saying you pissed me off because you fucking took my video idea that I wanted to do on podcast, but like stuff that should carry over from Chronicles into Sky Arena was also something I wanted to talk about on at least this week's podcast, but I don't know if we'll have time at the end of it. But part of it is what I'm getting at. It's like some sort of pity system.
Yeah.
To get a specific unit, I don't think the thing is though, it's mainly the old units that we're having a hard time chasing. I guess you can want to call summoning stones technically pity, but it's not pity because we don't really get enough stones.
There's also no guarantee. You could pull 10 Nat 5s out of your summoning stone rotation and not get the one you were looking for. So it doesn't. It's not really pity, you know.
I know.
I saw that guy on Reddit. He pulled. I think he went for Tiana and he pulled like 6 Tomoes or some shit.
Yeah, exactly. Like that can happen. Dumb. So it's like
and I think stones is probably the best way to address this, where they can make it a built-in pity within that week when stones is up and you're trying to get a Nat 5 that's in that rotation. And let's say can they do it though? Man, I don't know how.
Yeah. Can you say like, okay, 5,000 stones? Because technically, summoning stones you can buy unlimited. Like Zadora said, like the moment Miles comes in rotation, I'm just buying until I have it. Like, okay, not everyone has those deep wallets.
Right? Yeah.
It becomes very pay to win at that point as well. But then again, I don't know. Like either way, it's pay to win. Like, if you want a hard summon for it.
Like, I mean, right now we have infinite LDs available. Now that you can just transfer regular Nat 5s into LDs, so it's like
like rough. Mystical Scroll, it's like better like from when you, at least I think so, from buying when it comes to like Arena, Guild Shop, and any shop that lets you buy mystical scrolls and LD scrolls. I would rather just take the mysticals, pull a dupe, and then get the 3 LD scrolls out of that.
If you can't afford to get them all, it is more beneficial to just go for the MS. But
that's actually a fair point. Yeah,
and if there's a chance I get a new unit, there's a chance I get some dupe 4-stars. I'm still lacking some 4-stars that need full skill ups. But what I'm getting
that's also a thing that I didn't mention for Chronicles because it's also not in Chronicles, but 4-star Devilmons are so long overdue, man.
It's it's ridiculous. Especially now too, like because we have all these things that make us feed 4-stars. So it's like
exactly. So you're going to feed stuff that you're later like, wait, but I could have done like 3 more windies.
Yeah.
Or whatever after a balanced patch of like a good windy or whatever.
Well, it's like I don't have Tableau, but I feed Dice Magicians all the time for those stupid things.
My Tableau's not max skilled for that exact same reason.
I have no idea.
Missing 3 skill ups.
Right. I have no idea if I'm ever going to pull a Tableau, so I'm just like, fuck it. I see you later, Dice Magician. But then when I pull it, I'm gonna be screwed. But I probably won't pull it, so it's all good. But
you'll never pull it. Don't
worry.
Yeah, I played Diablo like
hold
like a month ago or so.
What I'm getting at, though, is the fact that we can get so many LDs to boost our rates of getting an LD unit, right? It's obviously way higher than it's ever been before.
Yeah,
if they can
it's crazy.
convert stones to say, I have done 5,000 stones, I did not get the nat 5. I don't know, 5,000 is too low a number. Even if we said 10,000, why not? If they can do a pity system similar to what we have in Chronicles now, so you can choose the nat 5 you want, is this OP? Is this busted? Is this bullshit? If you ask me, I say absolutely not. I think that encourages
I don't think
people
so.
like, let me choose one. I'm not saying to have it like, let's say someone has 30,000 stones, and every 10,000 stones you can pick a nat 5. I'm saying like at least once in that rotation, you can choose one nat 5. If you can do to at least 10,000, or sorry, let's say it was 10,000 summons, I can do 10,000 stones. Sorry, 10,000 stones. I get to choose one nat 5. Done. I don't think that's bullshit at all. I think that's great for the game. If anything.
Yeah, I mean they're super careful with their stone rotations, anyways. Like any above average unit takes like several years to get put into stone, so it's not even like it's not like every week there's a Shizuka or an Oliver or whatever. Like, I mean, we're just getting Oliver for the first time. We just got more for the first time. Miles still has not been in
like
there.
2.5 years. I think Cardinal still has not been in.
I don't think I've seen him either. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Cardinal is the longest like overdue so far.
I feel like I've seen him. I know Cigar has.
Cigar has, yeah, 100%.
Cigar has multiple times, and the other one, like the water one, also has been multiple times. But I'm pretty confident that Cardinal never been in.
Yeah, it's just. I mean, it feels like everybody. I don't know. It's always so weird because like we play at a high enough rank where like most people have at least 85 to 90% of the meta units, so it feels like everyone has everything. So it's hard to say like how a change like that would affect like Fighter 3 to C3 range, because like maybe that's something that's like kind of refreshing for those players is every single person I fight doesn't have Masha, doesn't have Shizuka, whereas if you make a change like that, it would eventually get to the point where it's like,
I think even for those rank, like I play on lower accounts as well from time to time, and even there, I feel like most people like they don't have like let's say if there's 10 units good, they don't have all 10 or they don't have 8 of them, but they at least have like 3 or 4.
Yeah, that's very true. So yeah, I mean, I think overall, I don't think anyone would ever complain about a change like that to just make it easier to chase specific nat 5s. Because I mean, even like the SP button thing, it
barely does. I got 0 of the SP summons successful. 0.
Yeah,
I haven't gotten any either.
I popped 15 blessings on this SP button that just passed, trying to get Zimbala, and I popped 4 Zimas, which also happened to be the unit that I got out of my Ancient Transcendence Scroll before I did those. So, but like in 15 blessings, I saw 4 Puppeteers, and it was the same one 4 times. So I don't want the wind one, but I didn't even have a chance at the wind one, let alone the water one who I was after. It's like, it does so little that it's like, it almost doesn't even help. Like, I probably saw more mages in those 15 blessings than I saw puppeteers, and they're not even boosted or whatever, you know? So I don't know. It just, as they add more units, it's just going to get harder and harder. Like, if you're missing Masha or whoever right now, whoever you're missing out of the meta, every single time a new unit comes out, it just gets more difficult for you to find her. So,
and I know, like, even if they did it through SP, that there's also a pity. Multiple games do this, and now the Summoners War IP is fucking doing it themselves.
Yeah,
you know, implemented in Sky Arena already. Like, I'm sure they're probably awaiting for 2023 to make it their big release, their big announcement. Oh, hey everybody, guess what? Pity, thanks.
Well, that's a good segue, because like Sei brought up on Discord, 2022 basically had no big update.
No, it was just the guild stuff, which was, we can all agree, to pretty mediocre.
Awful, yeah. So 2023, I mean, do we think there's going to be one? Is it going to be a content thing? Is it going to be an overhaul of an existing thing that's long overdue, which there's a lot of stuff that they could overhaul?
I'm not sure. Like, currently the path of Summoners War is everything is leading towards RTA, more or less, like Siege or RTA.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't mind if they take a slightly different approach of making something competitive in a different way.
Yeah.
Like, you could even do PvE kind of stuff competitive, like if you want to. Like, I've no clue how you want to implement it, but there, in the end, there's people like speed running like dungeons and stuff. So you could implement that, or you could do so many things of also for RTA, like limitations to which units you can use. But the big issue is like kind of segueing like every kind of way. Like some people say, like, why not keep Special League open the whole year, pretty much. One of the good arguments is, and it's something they actually do really good in Sky Arena or is in the Chronicles, is if you have two different things which you can play, you will have a subset of people playing a certain thing, and therefore both are less populated. What they do in Chronicles is they have, okay, then RTA is open, and then Battlegrounds is open.
Yeah.
So something like that with Sky Arena saying like, okay, at these hours RTA is open and these hours Special League is open, could actually be a thing.
Yeah.
I would rather have 24 access to something like RTA just because of my schedule. And that's another thing with like Sky Arena in comparison to Chronicles, is that I look at Chronicles as a PC game, so I play it when I'm at home. I rarely touch it on my phone, rarely. Except like I'll do some overnight stuff on it sometimes if I don't do it on my computer. When it comes to Sky Arena, a lot of Sky Arena players that I know of are very busy people. We're not homebodies as much as we would love to be basement dwellers. I would love to be a 24/7 basement dweller, but
That's the main reason why we play a mobile game, right?
Yeah, right.
That's kind of like what started that, you know?
So I want to be able to play RTA when I can play RTA. Even like before they did the recent change in Chronicles for like Moonshadow Battlefield, where they had that time slots, even though it's in my time zone, it was still fucking me. I couldn't play it.
It just didn't line up, yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
like,
it just had something to do, you know.
That's what I mean. I don't want in Chronicles, I don't care what they do. I still like it. I'm playing it as it is, whatever. It's not going to affect me. But when it comes to Sky Arena, it needs to be like everything should be accessible. That's why I can't do Siege, right? Like I just can't.
Yeah, fair.
The higher we went as in Doubt Main, that we went up, at the less I could do. Because there was more was required for me. I'm like, dude, I don't have time for this shit.
Yeah.
I had to step down, right?
But I still like the idea of another thing being going, like at the same time as regular RTA. Even if it's not the time slotted thing, I still think having a secondary mode that, like, even just when you're tilting in regular RTA, just something that you can switch over to that's maybe less serious, but still has like a real ladder, like a Special League or like a 2v2, which I love. But
well, the thing with Sky Arena, which is really difficult about the game that's running for 8 years, how do you add something without people complaining that they also have to do that?
I know, yeah.
That's like by far the biggest difficulty in Sky Arena, and I think they kind of tested it with Guild Battle, of taking like Guild Battle away, implementing it for rifles, which are kind of useless. Like, just give more points for inter-server Guild Battle, because rifles, really no one cares. Like, you just do them for the rewards. You just one-shot everything. Barely content. So, yeah, I kind of like that idea of maybe taking something away which is lesser played and then filling it in with something new. I think that's the only way that Sky Arena can actually add something new without half of the population complains like, oh, now I also have to farm this.
Yeah. But see, like, I really like the way that they do 2v2, except for the fact that it has no matchmaking and no anything to it. Like, I like that it's like, okay, it's up for 2 weeks. Like, there's rewards in it that, like, you don't have to go and get RTA tokens if you don't want them. Like, it's no, like, you can either do it or you just, or don't do it. It really doesn't actually matter if you do it or not. But it just, the problem is, it's like, there's nothing compelling players other than me who just likes it. There's nothing truly compelling, like a widespread amount of people to go in there and play it. Like, there's no, like, they could do a fucking 3-star transmog or something for like G1, G2, G3 or whatever, and just give it the exact same matchmaking and leaderboard that regular RTA has. Like, if they really want to get lazy with it, you know, I mean, or or even if it's not a 3-star transmog, they could just give 100 transmog stones, and you can go buy one that already exists or something. Like, it could be anything, you know. But there's got to be some form of ladder or whatever. You just fight C3s until you've won too many games, and then you can never find a game again, and then that's it.
That's a bit the issue, but that's also the issue. Like, if you open 2v2, you will get less matches in normal RTA.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the thing that I'm talking about, like the subset of players of like playing something, and that makes something difficult. And in the end, like, any content is kind of as good as the rewards are. Like, if in one content the rewards are really good, you get a competitive scene, and therefore you get good content.
Yeah.
In most cases.
I hate that it's like that. When you can have like if the mode itself is just fun and people want to play it, that should speak for itself. But if you remember, say 2v2 is technically still beta. So like 2 years later, we're at 2 years right now, right? With 2v2,
still beta.
much, just about, and it's still beta.
It's like a Steam early access game. It just never leaves early access.
Just never leaves it. Yeah, pretty much. That's what 2v2 turned into. I was happy. It was good that we got confirmation on it though when we went to Korea last. But what was I getting at? The meat and potatoes, right? It's like having a burger without the patty. It doesn't matter. Like, we're talking about the skins, the rewards, all that. That's the patty of our burger is 2v2 fun. A lot of people, they're saying yes, but is that enough? Like, it's
right? I
like,
think just for the fun, not enough people are going to play it to have like actual good queues.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't feel like it's organized right now. Like, I know it's still in beta, but like, if they don't officially release it,
I mean, there's so many issues with it.
Yeah. Like, where we still see like some units have like contradict the rule where I can't affect both like Shizuka. So you can copy a debuff that wasn't done on her side.
Yeah, they do have to tweak stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a lot of shit like that still hasn't been done. So
I think it also makes it hard to balance the game out because the whole game is balanced on like 1v1ing.
Yeah.
And then certain units balanced would really, like a Shizuka really messes that up, or Tianlang, or there's just a whole bunch of units just messing that up. But is that a big issue because you just create a different meta?
But I find it more balanced, though, than regular RTA. Like, I feel like other than the units who just weirdly don't follow the rules of 2v2, like Shizuka, the rest of the units feel like they get their power mitigated by there being 6 units on the opposing side, but only 3 that you can affect at one time. Like, Chung Peng, who's like the best wind unit in the game in regular RTA, is significantly weaker in 2v2. Still good, maybe even still the best wind unit, but he's significantly weaker when he can only do it to half of the opposing units that are threatening him, So it's like, it almost feels like where the balance should be in the game. Like, when it's like, you have this really strong AoE skill, but you can't just click it and get everybody. You can click it and get half of them, and that's still a really strong skill, but it's not super game breaking like it is in regular RTA.
And I feel like if 2v2 was played enough, like when it's like properly released, so that like
there's
people
a ladder.
can see stat like a ladder essentially. You can see queue time. Your rank actually matters. I think teams like that will actually vanish because then everyone will actually have a thing like Chronicles having presets on runes. So if like 2v2 has presets for people that'll build, like I'm gonna have this.
Well, that's the thing; they got to do that. If 2v2 is ever going to be a real game mode, that has to happen. You can't just change rerun your whole account every time you want to switch game modes.
But then again, like also people want to have like separate runes for Siege and separate runes for RTA and separate runes for this. Like at some point you get too much of that. Plus, I know that storage is an issue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So storing all of that, because one of the reasons that I'm like 99% sure that in Chronicles, the reason why the storage of your runes still counts, even though the runes are on a unit, is because we are abusing it. Like some people, like I logged into an account that had 9,000 runes. You're not happy with that. That was like the biggest mess I've seen in my life.
That is impossible to ever clean up in any.
Yeah, that's like it's that's like, was it 9,000? Yeah, I think it was close to 9,000. Like the guy legitimately had like 700 units in storage with 6 runes, plus like the normal units, plus like your normal storage for it. It was like close to 9,000 runes.
So
That makes
ridiculous.
Why?
And the guy was like C2, C3.
Yeah.
Please.
A lot of blue runes.
You're just making an absolute mess out of that stuff. So I think like if you have a lot of people doing that, you add a lot of storage for like the servers and that kind of stuff. So that's somewhat of an issue.
Well, that's the like I wonder. There's got to be a way that they like kind of get around it though, where it's like I think there's a reason why you can't like sell runes and stuff like that, for example, from the RTA screen, because I'm pretty sure like the way that they have it coded is like this rune in here is just a copy. You know what I mean? It's not like this isn't your real rune. That's why you can't do anything to it. You can't sell it. You can't do anything like that. So I wonder if there's like, I don't know. I wonder if that's like a way that they kind of get around overloading their server too much with like.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
they don't fully duplicate the rune. You know what I mean?
I looked into it, like how it looks like, because I know like the data structure of Summoners War, how things are stored like in the JSON and stuff, and that's actually how they store this stuff.
Yeah.
And I think you are right. Like for every rune, you can see the location where it's at. So in RTA, it just has a different location. So either storage or another unit.
Yeah.
There we go.
So you don't necessarily duplicate the rune. You just like allocate it to a different location.
Right. Yeah. So
but I think the thing with presets in general, just having a preset of being able to switch your stuff back and forth pretty easily,
exactly,
be super chill.
Right. That doesn't require any additional storage. I mean,
yeah, like you just have the storage of storing 6-7 presets. That's near to nothing.
Right. Which is all they really need. Like just another little just
would
something
help out
here
a lot.
That just like you just click it and you just switch to preset 1 or preset 2 or whatever. And you're never playing 2 game modes at once, so there's no issue, you know. It's like you just got to remember to click back to your regular RTA preset before you queue up. That's about it.
Maybe they can do some sort of incentive for people to like clean their runes, but they would have to make it here. Well, first I was thinking like
double rune
like,
sell value or something like that for a
give,
day,
like,
for a weekend.
1 or 2 crystals. Give a crystal when they sell a rune. You know when you like disassemble equipment from in Chronicles, you'll get like you'll get 2 drops out of it. You'll get gold, which will be mana, and then you get a little bit of special the equipment stuff grind.
You get like a particle of particle of a rehab, like 1/50th of a rehab.
Oh my god, that's even better than.
But that's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy though, because like eventually. Like, if the reward's too good, people are going to start storing more runes, waiting for the next event. So it's like, so you get them to wipe it out that first time, but now they're like, oh, well, now I got to hoard up 10, 15,000 runes so that the next time it comes around, then I can dump my 15,000 runes.
Just make it like a regular thing.
No, I'm saying keep it all the time. I'm not saying make an event.
Oh, all the time. Oh, okay.
All the time. Like, imagine you sell a blue rune and you get, let's use this re-up example that I never fucking thought of. That's an insane idea, but I don't know if it's good or bad. But let's say you sold a blue rune, you get 1 of 100th. No, that's too. 1 of 1,000.
I mean, in reality, you should just get like a little bit of rune crafting materials, right?
Or
like this stuff.
Crafting materials would work.
Just something, just some of this stuff.
Right.
Like,
but they have to also make it where if I'm in my storage, I don't have to unequip the rune and then sell it after that.
Yeah.
Right.
Just sell it from the unit.
Yeah.
Yes. Because like nobody has time. You got to make things. You know, Skyrim needs to fucking step up their game in terms of speed. Like
that's the thing which I really love about Chronicles. They have so many quality of life things.
It's so
chill.
It's so easy. It's developed to be a mobile game, but it works so well on PC. And then like I'm playing, and when after I play like hours of Chronicles, I go back to Sky Arena. I'm like, what is this like?
It makes the game feel like 8 years old, you know?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like you select a team and it shows like, oh, your Konamiya is not runed up or your Verde is not runed up. You have to get away from that screen.
Yep.
From this screen, you have to go back one more time. You have to go to your monsters. You have to go to Verde. Oh no, it's in storage. You go to your storage. You click on the Verde. You select the runes. Now you have to go the whole process in backwards.
Yep.
And then you forgot like what team was I using again.
Yeah.
That's like the main reason I don't do Siege. I hate that. It adds so much like tediousness.
The server guild battle is 10 times more difficult because you have 15 units.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
There's always going to
Like,
be
my
one
whole
missing
build is
something.
slacking on that fucking content because people hate that.
Yep.
Yeah, and I don't blame them. There's no way in
Yeah.
fuck would I blame them for not
So
doing
tedious. Yeah.
it. Like, why can't I have a quick rune access from anywhere I am? I don't care what screen I'm on. Let me press runes, and I'm in my runes. Let me press storage, I'm in my storage.
And then
Like-
you go back from that, and you're back at the selecting. Not that you have to reselect the units again.
I know, yeah. It doesn't even save, like, here's the 4 that you were trying to go in with. It doesn't even remember that. You have to refine them. And of course, like, if you've been playing this game for 8 years, your storage is like hundreds and hundreds of 6-starred units, duplicates of 6-starred units. It's like, it's just a nightmare, you know?
That's definitely something that has to come up in 2023. It's like the speed of me like going in and out of this game, like filtering through everything that I need to do. Because I don't see them ever adding content and people liking it when like there's all this sluggish stuff. Like,
well, that's the thing. Like, you can't have any more. Like, they've hit their cap of PvE content because of things like that. Like, it's just if you just add this new thing that requires different builds and different 4-stars to be skilled up and built, and like they, you know, one's got to have like a Vio set with these particular stats, and then these particular. It's like it just gets overwhelming. Like, I have to re-rune shit up every single time a Dimensional Predator comes around because I don't keep that shit runed. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like, my Fire Panda doesn't keep runes for the whole month while I wait for that one time I do Depred. Like,
yeah, exactly. How do you guys feel about like 0 mana cost for reruning?
I should have happened 6 years ago.
Yeah, like,
I think we're kind of on the point. Like, to be honest, I've been not caring about mana for the last 4 years, 3 to 4 years, I guess.
You're only punishing new players.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, new players that want to catch up, you're punishing them by not being able to rerune. I think reruning is one of the like most chill things to catch up. And currently the game is already quite focused on catching up, except for 4-star Devilmons. For some reason, they don't care about new players for getting 4-stars, but okay. Yeah. But reruning, I think it should be free of cost, like just straight up.
Yeah. How the hell do you even skill? Like, if you start Summoner's War tomorrow, how the fuck do you skill up a Lucian?
Yeah, Lucian, multiple, Galleon, Jisun, not really anymore.
How do you even get the Lucian? There's so many 4-stars.
I have the solution. I have the solution. My Unknown Scrolls can give me a 4-star unit, just like Chronicles. I have 10,000 of them sitting here. Let me open them.
I'm never opening those.
I got 69k of those as well, interestingly enough. But I want to trade Unknowns for Mysticals, like 100 to 1, something like that. I don't care.
Yeah.
Sure.
Fuck it. I'll do 1,000 to 1. I don't even care.
Yeah. Like, why not?
They're literally just there for no
they're
reason.
there for no freaking reason.
What's annoying about Unknown Scrolls in Sky Arena is that it's a dungeon drop.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
and it takes up your other drop.
Yeah, like, fucking why, dude? Where's the value in it? At least let me summon a possible 4-star out of it. I'm not saying LD like Chronicles. Let that stay with Chronicles, sure.
Yeah, like,
let me summon a 4-star out of it. Why not?
Yeah, exactly.
Why not? Who's affected by it? That makes like, I was so happy when I still am. I get in Chronicles, I get Unscrolls, I get a fucking boner over it. I got an LD out of my Unknown
exactly.
Scrolls, right?
You can get a legit LD4 from like, I think I got my Cassie.
That's why I'm saving my Unknown Scrolls.
That's exactly.
One day I'm gonna be able to summon Tableau from them.
This is not coming in Skyrim. The LD portion of it is not in Skyrim. But like,
for skill ups for 4-stars, yeah.
Yeah, but like, if at a minimum, if they want to if they're too lazy to do that, maybe trade in Unknowns for Mysticals.
Well, you know what they've done in the past though? Minimum. Like, we've had Unknown shops in the past where you spend, like, where it was like an event and you spent Unknown Scrolls to like buy shit, right? Or am I thinking of a different game? I might be thinking of a different game, but they should do that. If it wasn't this game, they should do it.
Okay.
Well, the thing is also, currently you don't get that many more Unknown Scrolls, because you probably notice your stack of Unknown Scrolls is not really increasing that much.
Yeah, I don't think so.
It's mainly from what's there since, like, way back when you were getting way more Unknown Scrolls from...
Yeah, because I think, you still only... Where do you even get it now? I guess World Boss? Is like where you still get them?
I think you still get them from Giants. Do you even still get them from Giants? I don't know.
I feel like it is still a dungeon.
I don't know. I'll start my dungeon just to see if one pops up at some point. I don't know.
That's one.
You can probably check in the drops. Like, I think it shows drops or something, right?
But yeah, I mean, there's so many quality of life things that this. I mean, these are all things though that come up. Yeah, you can't get unknown scrolls. It doesn't look like.
Well, it doesn't even show mystical scrolls, so that's incomplete.
Oh yeah, that's true. Where the fuck?
Like, why is this even incomplete? Like in the first place?
Who knows, man? I don't even know. It's all these little things though that just like they weren't.
You know what really bugs me? Wait, which unit was that? I'll go to the pure vanilla, light, 3rd skill.
I have a feeling I'm not gonna like this.
Yeah, no, it's just. Well, I think it was her 3rd skill.
Does it have to be the pure vanilla?
Yeah, pure vanilla. Pure vanilla or the budding, it's the same shit. Okay, what bugs you from this?
Grants endure and immunity on the ally target for 2 turns and resets the cooldown time? Of what?
It's okay. Yeah, okay.
I still don't actually understand what that even is saying.
I guess of that unit, but that is fine. The next sentence.
If the skill is used on a dead ally, the ally will be revived with little HP.
What the fuck is little HP? Is that 1? Is that 15? Is that 5%? What the fuck is little?
And
that's a relative term. Like,
and
what
I'll
the
be
fuck?
honest,
how can you put a relative term to something absolute?
And the thing is that is more characters than if you put like 30% or something. Yeah. Like 30% is 3 characters. They put 6 instead.
Yeah, but also now it's like a little HP. It could be 1, could be 5, could be 15, could be.
And that's a big deal too, because it's like, so is that above or below a Belios threshold? Like, is that like there's interactions with this that it's like, is that above or below Torrent's threshold? Like, if I need to know if this thing revives a Leo, is he in Torrent range or is he not in Torrent range? I don't fucking know. It just says little. But I've never.
But then is little also variable, because that could also be true?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's just stupid, right?
Is it between 5 and 10%?
But honestly, the more that I read this skill, I've never actually seen this unit in action. Is this saying that it ventilates? Like, I know you weren't even talking about the first sentence, but I don't even know what the first sentence is saying. Is it saying
I guess you ventilate the unit that you revived or so? Like, you get this kind of Shizuka S2 vibe?
And resets the cooldown time. Not the cooldown times of the unit that could have multiple skills. It resets the cooldown time? I don't know what that... It almost sounds like it's resetting this skill, but that can't be right. But
yeah, that would be pretty. Then the unit should have been used. So.
Yeah. Wow, what a botched skill description. Holy fuck.
Another thing they need to bring over from, I don't know if you mentioned this in your, actually I didn't watch your video yet, so don't fucking roast me yet. I was gonna watch
no worries.
But did you mention how like the skill details that we get in Chronicles has to, like, in some way, shape, or form should be carried over? Like,
I didn't mention it, but I should have. Like, something saying does 88% damage of your attack.
Yes.
How do I have to find that out from a website?
Yeah.
Of someone that data mined that shit.
Yeah.
I look into like
it's such
Kumar,
a joke.
For example, Kumar in Chronicles is a defense unit. He's all defense scaling, and it'll give me the differences between, it's like it almost feels like a 50-50 split. Some of his skills are like a 70-30 split between the attack and defense. And that matters to know when you're like, you're ruining up your unit. Like, why should I go to a third party site? Everything I need is in the game. Yeah. And then the detail of like increases your heal by 10% and like in a skill up, right? It'll actually it doesn't say it in Chronicles exactly like that. But you see, like, the percentage breakdown to the decimal point, where it's like unclear. Like Bernard, that's the exact thing.
I know, like us, we've either done the testing or asked somebody who's done the testing or whatever that knows how this works. How the hell
is it 45 or is it 34 and a half?
There's no way a new player doesn't read this and think that makes it 45. It's worded exactly as it, like, the fact that it says plus 5% makes it sound like Or no, it's literally saying that it's additive, and it is not. It's not additive. But it's like
those
that.
kind of things is, but the same, for example, like units that most people don't know. If you go bulldozer, skill 1, full defense, skill 3, full defense. If you go to copper, skill 3 is 300% from attack and 300% from defense.
Yep, but you don't know. They both say they scale on defense. They both only address the fact that they scale on defense. That is it.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Escher is apparently pure HP on his S3.
Yeah.
Apparently, like pure, like
he
100%.
is. But
and
I
some
don't
units,
think. But Vigor's not,
HP,
right?
Yeah, but Vigor has attack scaling. Yeah. But how are you going to know that? Other than like a third-party site, we would never know this.
Exactly.
Kind of stupid, right? Like how Chronicles is exposing, like they're exposing themselves and like.
Okay, so I mean, they do have a difference in wording, but it's way too subtle for a new player to ever notice this. So this is the damage increases according to your max HP. So it's saying there's a base damage and then it increases, and then that base damage is based on attack. But once again, new player, you're not going to know that. And then Escher's just says inflict damage proportionate to your max HP. So it's.
Does Copper have that too?
So there's no implication.
Let's check for Copper and Bulldoze, because I'm curious if those actually, if they're consistent with their writing at least.
Right.
No, they're not. But
probably not.
They're probably not.
The damage, damage increases according to your defense. Now let's see what.
Okay, and then Bulldoze should be according to, and not increasing.
Proportionate to your defense, yeah. So. I
mean,
okay,
so they're actually
consistent, but it's so subtle. It's so subtle.
This is the first time I noticed it in the actual.
Me too.
Text.
I didn't notice it either until we just started talking about that.
Wow.
Exactly.
But this does not excuse them not having numbers for us. Right?
Oh no, it's a joke. It's a total joke.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't even. There's not even like a mention of. I had probably been playing this game for 2 years before I realized that damage had damage rolls. You don't even hit the same amount of damage every single time that you use a skill. Like you could hit the exact same unit that has the same defense, never changing, your attack never changing, and do a totally different amount of damage every single time you hit it. And it's like that's something that they, I don't know, I guess took or are inspired. I still know Unknown Scrolls, but like from Pokemon, like damage always has like a roll. But like in Pokemon, because all the information is present, you know, like, oh, that thing can only survive if I low roll. In Summoner's War, you don't actually know if you're just low rolling or if you don't have enough damage to kill it. There's no way to know. You all you know is it lived. You don't know if it was a low roll or if you just straight up don't have enough damage. There's no way to know. Like your Dominic leaves something at 1 HP. Maybe it was because your fucking 5-hit skill low rolled on all 5 hits. You don't know. How are you ever supposed to know?
With your Lucian, same like I can imagine that being with like Lucian and in your AO. One day, let's say the whole week, you hit this one guy. His defense didn't change from Monday to Sunday. You're always one-shotting him. Sunday comes around.
Yeah.
Nothing's changed still. You low roll all your damage.
Yeah.
And you think he changed his whole defense.
You're going to think he changed his defense, when in reality you just got like a 1% outcome that is never going to happen again.
That's good.
Yeah. Just more RNG to the game that's the king of RNG.
Sei remembers when we were in Korea speaking with the devs, one thing that they said is that they love for the community to figure stuff out. Like they said this about specifically the balance patch, why they never put notes with the patch explaining something.
That's such a cop-out, man.
It's a bit of a cop-out, but
for the balance patch specifically. I get it for other stuff. For the balance patch, that's a cop-out. They should explain the shit that they do.
Well, the reasoning, like to give some more information on that, what they said is like you have to have a really good writer in all languages, because they put the patch in all languages.
Of course.
You have to explain in all languages your statement of why you're doing something. And if you do something, people are going to get mad. If you write why you did it, people are still going to get mad. So
yeah.
That's kind of a TLDR. So then they kind of left it into is like, okay, we're not going to explain it.
And they're not wrong about that conclusion, but that is still a worse conclusion than not explaining why you're changing things. So it's like, I would still like to know, like, so this is actually a good segue to something that I had left open, because we just got a balance patch where Wind Monkey King inexplicably got a crazy ass buff, right? And so I have open on my other screen. It's not visible on the pod right now, but it's Leica's passive from 2016 when they had to emergency nerf him because he was just so good, and they did it right before SWC, pissed a bunch of people off. So this is his passive from 2016. Your attacks will no longer land as glancing hits. Additionally, attacks the attacker when you are attacked to inflict damage that's proportionate to your attack power with a 50% chance, and stuns the target for 1 turn if their counterattack is activated. That's it. So he didn't have a damage reduction passive back then in any form or fashion. Wind Monkey has an amazing damage reduction passive that's just flat 30% damage off the top. Goodbye. Is it 30 or is it 35 now? I don't even know.
It is actually, now you read it out loud, it's actually better than I thought, because Monkey still has a resistance check. What I listened from Leica, he doesn't seem to have a resistance check.
No, it was a resistance check. It doesn't sound like it, but I'm almost positive, just like from memory, that it was a resistance check.
Yeah, like I didn't play that much RTA back then, so I'm not 100% sure. But if he doesn't have a resistance check, okay, it's OP.
Yeah. But
and also it ignores elements, whereas Monkey still has issues to stun things with elements. I do agree with you that about like something that was arguably like the most OP back then. Looking at the Monkey right now, it's just good.
Yeah,
like, it's not even exceptionally
and this
good.
is way better too. Like Monkey's is way, like the fact that it's AOE, especially with what the meta is right now, where it's like any form of turn 1 aggressive team is just whipping AOEs at you. Like that is just what that archetype of comp does now. And like the fact that the other key thing too is Monkey still has the skill with the stun on it, which means Revenge Runes still work with it. It doesn't get the 100%, but it's still a revenge with the stun. And also just using the skill 1 has the stun still, the regular 50% Monkey King stun. Whereas Leica, he only stunned if he counterattacked with the 50% chance when him specifically was hit. And he had no damage reduction in his passive, no nothing. And his base stats are garbage compared to Wind Monkey King. But it's like, this is just better in every single way.
Yeah.
But I think also a really big factor is like, name the immunity units back in 2016.
There's Vela and Wusa. That's all everyone was using, yep.
Yeah, there was 2. Like, if you didn't have those, you were immediately screwed, and there were net 5s.
Yep.
Currently, you at least have, like, you have a Lulu, you have a Fran, like, free-to-play units, you have a Riley. I think that's also one of those reasons why Leica was OP back then. And, like, if you restore the Leica of back then right now, it wouldn't be OP.
Yeah, well, that's like, my main thing, though, that I wanted to talk about. It's like, why is Wind Monkey King getting this buff before Leica just gets put back to where he was? Like, why? Leica's just going to be...
Is it something of admitting your mistakes or something? I don't know.
I guess so, but it's like, so what? Leica's just going to suck forever because you guys nerfed him, and it was justified when you did it, but just give him his skill back. Like, what the fuck? Well, I don't even know if he'd be good.
You want me to remind you how long it took them to revert Arnold's S3 cooldown? Do you want me to remind you on a 4-star how they fucking refused to revert the cooldown?
But that's like inconsequential because no one fucking uses that unit, so who cares? But it's like, but like even units like, in my opinion, if they put Oki back to his regular stun chance from before, where he had the he had a 1 higher range.
Yeah,
I think he would still suck in this meta. Like, I think he would.
I think he would come back in meta, definitely, because of artifact damage, mainly.
Yeah, but it's like, on average, you do 1 more hit. It's like, he has so many counters now that he didn't have when he got buffed, because that was before Douglas was cleansing himself. So now Douglas is just going to be a menace to your Okeanos. And Josephine? That was before Josephine had an automatic counterattack and now does a shitload of damage. And, it's like, there's just so many, and that was before Riley even came out, which he has a really hard time with because you can't really reset her, and one proc and she just reverses everything your Okeanos tried to do.
Yeah.
And you can't even reset her to help protect you from that. So it's like, but he's just gonna be shit forever. He's not going to get reverted. Like, it's not going to happen. He's just gonna be inconsistent and shit forever.
And still has a crit awakening.
Yeah.
For no reason.
Yeah, that's also one of those inconsistencies of some units that, well, something that was actually brought up in Korea as well. Do you know about the inconsistencies of speed leads?
Yes,
You are
I was in
owner?
that room.
Yeah, I do know
Yeah.
about the inconsistencies of speed leads, as a matter of fact. Because
Wedget, a lot of people don't know, Wedget is actually arena lead 24. It's not even global lead 24.
Right. And
then you could say, like, okay, maybe because they have a 4-star in the family and therefore you do that. But Miyang as 28.
This makes me so mad, man. She is a 4-star in the 4-star family with a content locked leader skill of 28. Are you fucking kidding me?
But how about check out the dark one from this, because that's also, is it also 28?
Yeah.
And also arena locked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But why?
It makes no sense,
Sylvia.
dude.
No. Go to Sylvia.
Sylvia's 33. Like, Geldnir is the only making sense 33 for guild battle. Sylvia should be 28. Like, according to this logic.
But they all benefit from it except for Wedgehat. He's the one who gets fucked.
Yeah, Wedget should be 28. Sylvia should be 28, and then you're okay. But it's like some of these things are so inconsistent.
This was brought up. I was in that room. It was with me, Shen. I believe Shev was in that room with me.
I think Once in Love also mentioned it to her.
Tyler, I was with Tyler. Now you remember me. Tyler, Sean B. What's his name? He was a French streamer, not Seisu.
Junpei, probably.
Junpei, he was in there as well. And that conversation went for a good chunk of time with that developer, explaining, like, there's this unit that is like this, and this unit's like this. Why is Wedgeat somehow the exception, as if he's like a top tier unit and he needs 24 lead to be nerfed when he's really not?
Such bullshit, man.
I literally thought it was 24 overall lead, like Sierra. Then it made sense.
Yeah. I actually had that same thought for a long time until
but in reality, if it was global, it should actually be lower than 24 because he's part of a Nat4 family, so he should have like
19,
20 or something.
No, but
I don't even know what the in between would be.
Check out Shimete.
Yeah, he's the same lead as my fucking Wedgeat.
Yeah.
As a regular ass 4-star. Same with Tableau. It's like.
But if you now go to Tyrone, is Tyrone overall 19 or is he arena 19?
He's global.
Oh, he's global. Okay, that makes sense.
This guy's global too.
It was the other one.
These guys are all correct. These are all 19.
Okay,
all the
that makes
globals are
sense,
19. It's really just like the LD5s that are just so inconsistent, and it's like these units are so fucking rare, man. And you get one, and it's weaker than it should be for no reason other than just like, I don't know, a mistake, an error somewhere along the line. I don't know.
Yeah, someone had like a bad day. It's like, no, not this unit.
Yeah.
Or someone was really overthinking it.
And it's like
really overthinking it.
You've got like this passive where it's like, no. Wedgeat cannot give himself 10 bar. That would be just ridiculous. But then Verde is like, I just give everybody 40, myself included. Like, fuck him. Fuck them.
Did you guys were actually playing at the time where Verds could boost up other Verds?
Yeah.
I know of it.
Dragons back in the day.
Yeah, if you had like double Verd like very early in the game, it was like pretty much like Trikaru right now.
Yep. But Verde was like looked at like a Nat 5. Like everyone, it was so hard to get specific 4-stars back then. Like you were just praying you pulled one. Like just
I
get
feel
me
like
a Verde.
Verde being, if we're talking about quality of life, and because actually we are saying a lot of quality of life they should do. I also want to give them credit because if we check the game now and 2 years back, the quality of lives that we have right now are insanely good.
Yep.
But that also means 2 years back it was really shit.
Yeah, exactly.
That goes both ways.
Yeah.
So we see which way it can go. Like Chronicles is really an example of like the extra steps they can do. Yes. But adding Verde towards the fusion circle is so good for people to catch up.
Yep.
But 4-star Devilmons, like they're Lucian, they're Galleon,
I know.
like you name it.
I know. It's
so
brutal.
easy to do, dude.
And like there's also just like the thing too where it's like it's still a video game at the end of the day. Like you want it to be fun for people. Like you want people to pull like Ager or something and be like, this unit looks really cool. I'm just gonna build him because he just looks fucking cool. But then it's like, so wait, now I can't skill up my Wind Barbarian King who's actually good for dungeons and whatever. I can't waste those resources on Ager, this unit who looks cool and I want to try and I want to play with, but I can't because all my Barb Kings got to go to Praisvelg, who's actually good in dungeons. So
Yeah.
you know you've got thousands of units in this game, but your hand is forced into.
Yeah.
Did you talk about restorations in your video, Sei?
Restorations of units? No, I actually didn't mention that one. That one is actually a good one as well too.
Okay. Imagine like an old 6-star. You know, we should be allowed to fucking just straight up dismantle a 6-star.
Yeah.
And if they nerf it and they refuse to give us a reason.
Oh God, yeah.
Like
just get back all your Devilmons. Like the thing they only did for Kiki or for Kinky. No, wait, Kaki.
Yep.
They've done it. We know they know how to do it. They fucking exposed themselves. They spread their cheeks wide open and showed us everything.
Yeah, no, it's fucked up, especially too when like it. They just don't seem to care. You know what? Like they don't take any precautions. You know what I mean? Like they buff the fuck out of Gurkha, for example. Everyone and their mom knows that thing has to get nerfed. And then instead of just like reverting him and trying again with a different buff, he's just bad now. In people's LD5, he's just bad now. And it's like,
he went from dumpster kid to like the best kid in class back to dumpster kid.
Yeah, it's like,
throughout 3 months,
man. Like, what if that's
someone
people's
won
only
100K
LD,
trophy on
dude?
it and they put it in the dumpster again?
Yeah.
See, and then that would be like a part because we know that they have access to statistics, like of what people are doing. Imagine all the people just dumping restoration stones on their Gurkha after that fucking patch, and then that's like, okay, Comptos gets the message. They're a bunch of idiots, and then revert it, right? That obviously they can see another way. They see that Gurkha playability has just vanished off the face of the earth, but at least give people the option to pull all the resources out and put it on another unit. Like they've done it we're seeing it in Chronicles. Why can't I do it anywhere else?
Yeah, exactly. And you don't have to make it for free. Like put a paywall on it. I don't give a shit.
Crystals,
like,
let people build up to their crystals.
You get like one a month
crystals,
or whatever.
Yeah,
and there's multiple ways they can do it. One a month, I don't care. Let us build it up.
It's just such bullshit, though. It's like if they were better at balancing, it wouldn't even be necessary. But it's so necessary because they're so bad at it. I also
think like if you allow that, and therefore people don't necessarily waste their resources, you can go harder on balancing. Like, dude, fuck up a unit. No one cares. We're gonna restore it anyways.
Yep.
So they can actually like, okay, gut fucking Oliver. Like people are going to restore their Devilmons. It's fine.
Yep. Yeah, there's way less risk involved for them, you know? Especially if they pay all the restoration, then there's almost benefit to them.
And imagine it also helps, like, even though at the beginning we're talking about, like, getting people more accessible to certain units, like, for everybody. Everybody's missing something. Fucking Mega Whales are missing stuff that are not LDs, right? But that aside, still, like, for the lower guys who are like, let's say I want to start getting into RTA, they already dumped all their resources on another Nat 5 that doesn't help them in RTA, so they suck it all out, put in another unit so they can start playing RTA. I don't know if they should make it expensive. Now that I mention it, maybe they shouldn't make it like a crazy expensive thing.
I mean, if it's like 1K
put it as a
crystals
TOA reward or something.
Yeah, maybe you get one ticket out of TOA, but then there's also like a 1K crystal that you can buy once a month or something. Like, just anything is better than what it is right now. Because right now, if they nerf your unit, sorry, buddy. Like,
do you know where
something just fades away from meta. Like, for example, what was the last time you actually put Sigmar's in a dungeon that was not role boss?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Just got the unit. Like, you don't need it anymore. It's fine.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure I gave Devilmon to my Sigmar's. And I'm pretty sure, like, and I have 2 Prahas that I built aside from my main Praha. I could suck those out and put her in, what's it called? For Ancient Crystals, the thing. Right? Because I can't do them as a 6-star. They're not letting me feed it as a 6-star.
True.
So
Wait, what if you suck the resources out? Do you get back what you put in? Because before Ancient Crystals, I 6-starred my Leo with 5 chows. So, do I just get 5?
You will get Devil Monster.
Yes.
Don't be greedy.
Yes. Fuck yes.
I just get 5, the souls of 5 chows sucked out of my Leo.
I'm trying to remember who Make It a Bud fed a bunch of 5-stars to do something. We'd have to. I actually clipped it, but he can pull up my clip that I did for him, and then he'd revert that unit and get like 5 nat 5s out of it to use for Ancient Crystals.
Yeah, I mean, there was no. The problem was that when they do big changes like that, they give us no indication that those changes are coming. So it's like, before
everything is super last moment.
Yeah, the day before Ancient Crystals came out, you had no idea there was ever going to be any use for dupe nat 5s. There was no indication that there would ever be a use for dupe nat 5s. Then all of a sudden, just immediately, some random Tuesday night, there's a use for dupe nat 5s. And it's like, holy fuck, what the hell just happened?
Yeah.
Like,
but
just spent 5 chows.
But that's kind of count to us like trademark as well, because how long did we know that Chronicles was being released before releasing US? 2 weeks?
Yeah, not long.
Like
not long.
Europe is going to be the same thing. Like people are asking me is like, do you know anything about Europe release? Like, sorry,
dude,
I don't,
no one
know
knows.
anything.
You'll find out about
but
48
I'm pretty
hours
sure
before it
at
comes
some
out.
point, like I wouldn't be surprised if they say first week of January or February. It's like, okay, guys, next week.
Yep.
Well, thanks for the heads up.
Dude, remember when
like,
they completely rearranged artifacts?
I saw this one thing that was actually about like China opening up after COVID things. It's like, oh, we're opening up in 10. It's like, okay, 10 what? 10 months, 10 weeks? 9, 8, 7. That's how Count-to-Us releases their shit.
We love it.
Dude, the closest I've ever come to quitting this game is when artifacts had been out for like a year or so, and then just out of nowhere, they're like, we're changing the ranges that artifacts can roll, we're changing the substats, some of them are going away, we're adding a couple, and that's it. All your old artifacts are stuck where they are. All your new artifacts are going to have a new range of rolls, a new everything. And I was like, you have got to be fucking kidding me. Like, artifacts was all I farmed for like a year straight. And then it's like, get ready to start over. I that's the closest I've ever been to quitting Summoner's War. Because I hate those artifact dungeons too. I hate farming artifacts.
And the compensation for that, till today, I'm still pissed about it. I am still fucking pissed about it. All my quad legends that I rolled that could be achieved by a blue fucking artifact now.
Oh god, yeah.
They should have just upped the stats. Like if you up the ranges, they should have just upped the stats.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
They said they tried and they couldn't. I don't know. Like
the issue is they don't say for a specific rune like how was it rolled. So it's hard to say whether like it rolled 3 times max, 3 times low. But you can just take an average, like up it by average. Like, I don't give a shit.
Exactly.
Up it by something.
Better than like annihilating my whole artifact collection that I
I mean, outside of your additional damage artifacts, everything else needed to get replaced. They changed the range of everything else. Yeah. So, which actually, they changed the range of additional damage too, didn't they? Actually, because didn't you used to be able to roll like a 2 or something?
HP went from 1 to 3 to 2 to 3.
Yeah.
Insanely big.
It's 100% increase on the base roll. You know what I mean? Like that's
legit. You can roll like a quad that was 0.6.
Yep.
Or 0.5 even. Like what?
Yep.
That's so bad. So fun. The range from 0.5 to.
But the problem was, it happened a year later, and there was no indication it was coming until it just happened. It was not like, hey guys, we're looking into this. You might want to think twice about continuing to farm artifacts. Like, that's not something that they did overnight. They had to have been working that out, working out those numbers for months. But there was no indication that like, hey, this is coming. We don't know when, but you might want to stop farming artifacts because they're going to completely change. No indication. It's just one day you wake up, artifacts are different.
Really lacking. Like transparency should be a lot better about. But yeah, I think that's just at some point it's just the nature of the company to just do their trademarks like it's coming in 10, 9, 8, and just go for it. That's their trademark by now. Like
I've been hearing that like they're thinking about nerfing additional damage artifacts like as of recently, like people have been talking about. So it's like, but we don't know for sure. Like
We don't know.
Yeah, we don't
So
know
what?
when,
So
where,
what?
how,
Do we stop farming them for now? Like, what's gonna happen? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Are they just gonna nerf the calculation on additional damage? Like, who knows? They don't tell us.
Yeah, or do they buff the other stats?
I think what they would most likely do is there's two things. Either it'll actually be affected by damage reduction from the artifacts. So if I'm using Sierra S1, and instead of it being true damage, it can still be it'll still be true damage, but it's reduced by my opponent who has received from wind or received from whatever, as an example. Or defense is actually going to matter when calculating against.
Well, that's what they should do, but they're not.
That's what it should.
They don't. They don't like to make things easy on themselves. But like,
that's the only way they could do it without literally.
Well,
pissing off
they could do it so simply too, because they could set up a calculation where it's like, the way that we're gonna make this damage go into defense is your additionals are going to do the exact same amount that they do right now when hitting 1,000 defense, just for example, like for an even number. But then as that defense goes higher and people actually build defense, you're going to start to see your additional damage go down. And as their defense is lower, you're going to see your additional damage go up. So it's like they could set that like marker. Maybe it's 1,200 or whatever, like who knows? But it's like at this marker, additionals are exactly the way they are now. They go lower on their defense, they start getting hit harder. They go higher, they start getting hit less. You know, it's like, but
I like that out of you.
But they just, who knows?
They probably go something completely overboard,
exactly.
super weird, absolutely doing something logical.
It's either going to do nothing to additional damage, or they're going to make it now a dead substat that you just They never go in between.
Completely change the whole meta again.
Yep. They never go in between.
It would actually be like insane to shit on like everyone's years of farming of fucking artifacts again.
Yep.
Again.
Honestly though, this meta would be fucked up if you didn't have additional damage, because like ever since crit fix, like it's really hard to just deal damage to things other than additionals. I don't even know how you kill anything.
You go for your more CP and it's like, okay, that was cute. You didn't hit me
took
for like
10%.
10% of my HP.
Oh my god.
Your robo is immediately gutted, like all oracles that are already hard nerfed or even nerfed harder.
Yep. Oh my god. I don't even... The game's like past the point of... Because they've spent the last couple years adjusting units to adjust for additional damage. Like Oki gets too strong, nerf him. This unit gets too nerf him. Buff this, buff that. You know, release these different healers. Buff the amount that Rakuni heals. Release Riley. You know, all this stuff. So it's like... And then if you just go in and remove it...
It's a boring bruiser, slow-ass meta. If you got like additional damage completely... We're going to all kinds of Abellio matches.
Yep.
Abellio, Molly in every match.
Well, this is what I do want to talk about the meta with you guys, because I do hope in 2023 they make a focus on like really balancing out the different styles. Like Cleave is gone. Cleave does not exist in current 2022 RTA.
Unless you own what?
On Yuki?
LD. Yeah, like on Yuki, I guess.
Yeah,
but
on
even,
Yuki or Maximilian, that allows you to
even those teams, you have to own it and then also have this Swift set or something too. Like you can't just pull those units and now you can cleave. You better be fucking fast, or you better have like a Lucifer Leo combo or something. Like there's so many requirements to kinda make a cleave work. Bruiser's pretty much gone. I mean, additional damage kind of kick those guys straight out.
No,
like
Bruiser is definitely still there. Like if you check especially SWC matches where you have pre-ban, Bruiser is very dominant.
But like, is there any Bruiser without a passive that works? Because like the zero turn comp.
All Bruisers are passives.
Well, it's like the zero turn comp. Like people call it turn 2. I don't call it turn 2. Some people think of it as Bruiser. I don't think of it as Bruiser. It is the zero turn comp. You pick 5 units that can function without ever having to actually take a physical turn in a turn-based goddamn strategy game. And those are the units that still work. Like, Josephine never needs to take an organic turn to beat the shit out of you. It can just be strictly from her passive and her violent runes. Wind Monkey never has to take a physical turn. Douglas never has to take a physical turn. Antares never has to take a physical turn. Like, those units still kind of work in that sense. But it's also just like super high levels of volatility, you know? It's like...
Yeah, it's just a passive comp. Like 9 out of 10, turn 2 is just passive comp. Except for Lulu, maybe. Riley's technically passive stacking as well, so...
Yeah. But they're not even, like I said, I don't even consider them turn 2, because if I fight that comp, I'm going first, second, and third. Like, you're at best, you're turn 4. Like, but even then, your turns are entirely contingent on just random things happening. Like, I hate that. That's what, like, leaves the most sour taste in my mouth, is fighting that type of comp in a
But then again, it's also the
game.
comp. It's also the comp that hard counters you. So
well, of course,
there is a slight bias to that, I would say.
But in the context of a turn-based strategy game, should that out be the only out that works? Like, don't you think there should be units that actually counter it and not like it might, like Antares might?
It's not a bad thing. Like, if you like a lot of the things that you watch, like talking towards like esports and stuff, you watch it because it's fun to watch, like things happen. And if you see one comp and the other comp and it's just simple, A outspeeds B, so therefore A wins, like we have a lot in Special League, for example, then it becomes a lot more boring to watch and to play, I guess, at some point.
Yeah, but like but when you compare it to like actual other turn-based strategy games, like I'm a big player, I'm a big Pokemon player. Like that's like my main game alongside with this. Like there's like an actual like battle for like speed control is extremely important in Pokemon too, but it's not like, obviously there's not runes in Pokemon. Like Dragapult can only be as fast as a Dragapult can be, like that type of thing, you know. But like there's like a constant like actual strategic battle of like trying to get speed control, setting up Tailwind or reducing your opponent's speed or increasing your speed or setting up Trick Room to swap the speeds, or like there's all sorts of like things like that. It's never just like, oh, well, these really fast Pokemon have to be kind of squishy to be fast, so I'll just pick this unit that never actually takes a turn, but just punishes them for being what they are. Like, I hate that, because there's no, like, when you fight somebody who never even has to do an input on their device to beat you, how does anyone feel good leaving that match? Yeah, how does the person who wins even feel good about leaving that? It's like, yeah, the Douglas he just killed all 4 of them. Fuck it. Like, I don't know. Shit. He didn't have 2k attack on all of his units, so my Douglas just beat him. I don't know.
I was at the match I was at last night or the night before. There was actually no reason for the guy to take Douglas. I had 0 wind units. I had 1 AoE, and he just still 1v4'd me. And I'm like, why does this unit have to just obliterate me? Just because I don't have a high attack unit, the guy just automatically won the whole fucking match.
Yeah.
Well, then again, is it because Douglas is insanely OP, or just had good RNG and therefore you never, or you landed everything as a glance?
Is that the same thing though?
But it's both. I mean, what other unit provides even that opportunity to happen though? Like,
true, but I think like some of these RNG things, like if you're super lucky in this game, you win pretty much everything no matter the draft.
Yeah, but I just don't like when they make it worse. Like, the biggest thing that I like to point to is like, okay, before they buff Douglas, did the person who went first win every match? Hell no. Like, what? There's people who won SWC not being the fastest player in the tournament. Like,
but then it's again, not how it goes. Being the luckiest did one SWC.
Exactly. Yeah, so why do you also need Douglas? Is my thing. It's like, that aspect of you can pretty much win every match already exists. When you take it to the extremes of a counter pick, and there's a lot of units like this. There's Verde, there's Antares, but like Douglas is like the most surefire. Like, Douglas beats this team. Period. They ban it or they lose. Like, that's what he is going to do in this match. And then even some matches where he shouldn't, he still figures out a way to win. But it's like, I just don't like when counter picks go so far that it's like, okay, you are no longer allowed to draft 2 AoE wind units. You just can't. Like, you've already got Triple Revenge Verde to deal with. If any of them are countered by Leo, you've got that to deal with. Now you've got this Douglas who will automatically beat those 2 units, period, no matter what. That guy can already just pick.
Douglas loses to some weird comps as well. So.
But it's so hard. It's like, I don't know. I just hate
True,
it.
but I've seen my Douglas getting beaten by units, and I'm like, wait, these have no attack whatsoever.
Yeah,
So I
but if
guess
they're
it's
wind,
also a
it's
heavy RNG
additive.
factor in that still.
And then that's a
But-
luck sack on their end, not even on your end at that point.
Exactly.
Because
But
the way that Douglas's passive is described is there's no limit on how high the glance can go. Right? It doesn't, like Sonya, for example, caps it at 50. Like, or the stand, it says...
well, no, Douglas caps at 50 too, right?
Yeah, I think Douglas caps at 50.
But here's the issue. Did they change that? Because I know they changed. It took you up to 50, yeah. But
up to they did change it.
No, that's not what they changed. It's always been that. But what they changed was it's easier to get up to 50 than it was before. You used to have to have like double their attack power to get up to 50. Now it's less than that.
They fixed the wording on that because
no, they didn't. But the problem is this is additive to wind. So if your wind unit is low enough to 50, like to be at that 50 threshold, you're at 100. You will never, ever, ever not glance on this unit swinging with a wind unit. But it's like, it's kind of like a catch-22 though, because it's like, okay, so do I build my wind unit on attack instead of tankiness? Well, that doesn't help because I'm still a fucking wind unit. So I'm still going to glance 50% of the time on this thing, except now I'm squishier. And when he does revenge me, he's taking away half my health when he does it. So it's like, it's just like the ultimate like catch-22 between like, you basically just have to stay within parameters of units that can beat him. Like, that's what he does to you, right? You can build a comp that will never lose to a Douglas, but you got to build a pretty specific comp, and you've got to run that comp into the ground until you know, I mean, that's your only answer. Same with Leo. You can build a comp that doesn't have to deal with Leo, but it's got to be very specific, and you've got to just keep running that comp into the ground.
Well, the thing is, what's hard about buffing and nerfing in general, like at some point you're like what they kind of have been doing lately a bit is like, oh, we have a unit that's super annoying, everyone hate Oliver. We're going to make a unit that's almost even more annoying and more toxic and more RNG, and we call it Gyu.
Yeah.
Which, if it stuns every turn on Despair and counters and the stuns and I don't know what, it's super annoying in LP.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't land on Despair, it's a garbage unit.
Yeah, I hate. They're
rewarding RNG too much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But like in the comparison for Gui, like I do find her annoying. I do find her strong. She got the buff I actually was asking that she would get, which was up to like go to 30 or 35%. 35 ended up being probably too high of a sweet, like that's above the sweet spot, I should say. But she doesn't reduce your bar. She doesn't always like have a high stun chance, right? In theory, it's only 25, right?
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's the theory, and Despair is not capped. So Despair can.
And it should be. It should.
Yeah,
be.
that's the thing. That's the thing. One of the things that I also mentioned in Korea, like, why the fuck is Despair, Revenge, and Resistance possible to get quad in a row? Like,
it shouldn't be.
It's just bullshit.
Yeah.
If they could implement, I didn't even think about adding it to Res, but for sure, Despair, the same way Vio works, it should
100%.
be 100% implemented onto Despair. And if they actually do it onto Distance as well, I'll be an extremely happy camper. Because fucking imagine
what Resistance is just bullshit, man.
Yeah, like, it's not fair.
We all saw the match of like Pink. I think it was Pinkroid Osaru and Juno S2 0 activation or all resistance. I'm like,
yeah,
what?
It's just not fair. You don't even get to see the real outcome of that fight. Like you literally just don't even get. You're robbed of like the accurate representation of what that fight should have been, just because some outlandishly low percentage thing happens, but like they know. It's just so weird to me, like the way that they do this stuff, because when Molly, like, and maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, because you know more about like the win rates and stuff than I do, but like when Molly everyone was like up in arms about getting her nerfed. The season before she got nerfed, I don't even think she cracked a 50% win rate.
No, she was way above. Like when she was like heavily meta, she was like 51, 52, pretty sure. Like I don't know exact numbers. But I would be surprised if Molly was not 52, maybe 53 at that time.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to maybe go back and check. But for whatever reason, I like distinctly remember the season before she got nerfed. So like every unit, they get two seasons of being completely fucking stupid. But like the season before she gets nerfed, her win rate was nothing spectacular. I'm almost positive it was below 50 that particular season. But I agree with them nerfing that unit because it's a bad user experience. Like it just creates a bad user. Like that's just as important as being balanced is having players have fun. Yeah, like, and that's the type of units though that they seem to continue to buff. Like there's nothing fun about fighting a wind monkey. Nothing fun about using him. Like you're gonna get frustrated when he gets resisted or doesn't revenge on the unit that you need, and like it's just all this bullshit. That's just this like, I don't know. It's just a bad user experience type of unit that they just seem to keep buffing. You know, I just don't get it. I don't know what the direction is. Like, do they eventually want to get it to the point where both sides have 5 passives and both players have it on auto, and that's like less stressful.
Play in Fighter 3 like the Chinese people farming points.
Yeah, it's like is that? But it's
maybe they're helping them.
If you were to like chart a course of like their balance patches of what they nerf as opposed to what they buff, it's like that would be the direction you're headed in. It's getting predominantly more passive. Yeah. And your counters to passive are what? Tessa? Like you could first pick Tessa right now in RTA, and your opponent has no fear to pick 5 passives because they can just ban the Tessa. You don't have there's no backup to him. You can't pick 2. So it's like
no good backup.
Yeah.
I have decent hopes for the puddings. The pure vanillas.
Right?
Yeah.
I guess something.
They need higher base speed.
If they make the S2 that puts Oblivion towards like no glancing and 1 turn less or something, all of those units suddenly become good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They need some work on their base speed too, because that whole family
will make the dark one too OP.
Well, that's the problem. They screwed themselves over. They locked this entire family of units with shit base speeds just in fear of making the dark one too good. It's like, come on, guys.
They gotta
put it on. Put the dark unit skills on something else then. Why does the whole family have to have shit base speed, Tiana base speed, all because the dark one might be too good at 100 or whatever? It's like, fuck, god damn it.
True.
Gomtos loves working themselves into a hole with that.
They do. They back themselves into that corner, and then it's like, okay, why do dragons all have different base speeds, but you can't do it for these guys? Like, just to make it balanced. Like,
True.
For the sake of balance, just do it. Why do Monkey Kings that I have up right now, they all have different base speeds. So why can't that family have different base speeds? I don't get it. I
think even in Chronicles, I don't think they're shared. I can't. It's harder for me to check right now, but
Chronicles speeds works different in general.
Yeah, it doesn't actually matter.
It's like the speed of which you attack or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but what I want to say though is like the thing with our turn 2 discussion there. There are good
zero turn
units, those are 0 turns. Sorry, those were actually 0 turn. But there are units that are designed for counterplay that are good. They're really good, but I don't think they're like busted OP like a Bellio. Well, he's OP. He's really good. But he's not like, he doesn't, in comparison to a Douglas in their
he doesn't automatically beat what he's supposed to beat like Douglas does. Yeah, right? It's not automatic.
Like Abellio is like my favorite example of like the ultimate turn 2 unit. I'll say he's our current best example. Maybe that's what I should say. Where he's an accessible unit. If you draft it, you know what it does. You know if you do too much damage or too little damage, it's going to screw you up because of Abellio's passive.
Right.
It's not like...
It's not volatile.
Yeah, like, there's no insane dice roll when you're using an Abellio. And I find it, like, the best, turn 2 unit you could have in this game.
I agree. It's accessible. Right? I mean, he's still super strong, but it's like, he's not volatile. It's not like fighting a Molly in your first 3 hits glance, and then you just have to X out of the match. Like... Yeah. You know what is going to happen. I mean, his provoke can be a little fucking... Sometimes he gets nothing. Sometimes he gets your whole fucking team, and you're like, what the hell just happened? But, like, outside of that provoke, you know exactly what you're up against. Your opponent knows exactly what they have. Whereas Verde, it's like, I don't know, they might cut me. Maybe they'll cut me. Maybe they won't cut me. I don't know.
Yeah, and see, that's why like I love Heigang for that exact same
yeah, he just does what he does.
You know what he's doing. You can't
be
mad about
he's busted,
Heigang.
but he just does what he does.
I can be very mad about Heigang. Did you ever have a enemy Gianna stun everyone except Heigang?
That is so annoying. It happened to me
at least 3 times. At least.
That's so annoying. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about.
That's just like, no. You even got the good RNG of not landing right now.
Yeah, or like the water Ryu misses the fucking Heigang, and then you get completely desynced by the water Ryu. Yeah.
But still, Heigang as an example of like a turn 2 unit. You know what he does. You know, like in theory,
right. Your opponent knows what's going to happen if they play into his passive.
It's predictable turn 2 counterplay to you. Even predictable, not in a bad way, but predictable. They're like, okay, this guy drafted this. I have this on my board. If I do this. Like those units, I fucking love them.
Yeah, it creates an interesting draft where it's like now you're like, oh shit, do I ban the Heigang? But what if he knows I'm going to ban the Heigang, so he just bans the Gianna or the whatever? Right. It's like
peak gameplay, and when it comes to Sky Arena,
that's what strategy should devolve to. But instead
shitting on turn 2.
Instead they just stack as many passives as they can until you don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. They don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. You just have to go in and see what happens. I mean, there's really no telling.
This is what I want when they want to release counterplay. Cool, make it like. The example of like there's other examples I can't think of right now, but like Heigang and Abellio, I guess TL and Lang fits in that too with his bargain. You know, my bar's cut in half, so I can't take more. Whatever, like units where you know what they're gonna do. That's not bullshit. That's not a bullshit unit. Just because you know, just because. Oh my god, I'm at a loss for words now. I feel like I'm repeating myself anyway. It's consistent. And somehow that becomes bullshit. Like, I know so many people just absolutely hate Heigang. I'm like, you can't. You know what he's going to do. Counterplay it.
Yeah.
Bar boost past what he can do. Be faster. Don't even pick a different stripper that counters Heigang. There's things you could do that make you adjust.
Yeah.
But again, back to the turn 0 fucking units. Like, it's just roll the dice.
Yeah.
Why have so much dice roll in a game that already has built-in dice rolls on top of dice rolls on top of dice rolls? And
it's
then
tough. I mean, like,
and if they keep adding to it. It's like you just said. They keep adding to Josephine, keep adding to Wind Monkey.
Well, yeah. This whole balance patch that just happened had the 3 biggest winners were Wind Monkey, Josephine, and Raccoon. They all just have passives, and they sit there and they just go. They just go. But
it's predictable though.
But yeah, I mean, the biggest thing though is I really just want to see them bring other archetypes back into the game. Like I want to see. I've never been a cleaver. I don't cleave. I'm not saying it because I want to cleave. I just think it should be in the game. You should be able to cleave if that's your style. The amount of friends that I've had quit this game that were like super high level players and cleavers that just they didn't want to quit. They just got forced out the back door. It's like all these swift runes that you've re-apped, all these crit damage runes that you've re-apped, all these attack slot 6s that you've re-apped. Sorry, your archetype of team does not work anymore. Get the fuck out. Like, that sucks, man.
I think 2023, we get grindable crit rate.
That would be great.
This is the year.
I would like that. Grindable accuracy, grindable crit rate.
Yep, I would love accuracy? That. I'm down for that. Do it for resistance too. I don't care.
Then a low number. Give it like crit rate. Give it like 1 to 3.
1 to 3.
Like
I was even thinking 1 to 2. Like, don't even give it a blue. Just make it purples give 1, legends give 2. You can get a maximum
crit rate 1, 2, 3, and I would say accuracy maybe 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
If it's
fine by me
for accuracy and res, but okay, if they do that, if they're gonna add more than just crit rate, they need to eliminate the bullshit rolls of grinds where it goes 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5.
Yeah,
it's the one thing they haven't fixed over time. Like they've given us B12s, you don't get 5 stars anymore. They've given us ancient runes, all this shit. Grinds are still fucking miserable.
Minimum. +1 minimum every time with gems and with grinds. Minimum +1, not equal. +1 every time. The amount of grind space that gets opened up because of that is huge. The amount of because people stop hoarding, because right, you use your purples so you can start using your legends, because you want your legends to keep rolling high. You don't want to slap a legend down early, or just change legends to 7 to 10. Stop dicking around. Like
7 to 10. I would like that.
Stop wasting our time when we farm, so we can farm other shit in the game, do other shit in the game.
Yeah.
You know, right? Like, I'll farm R5, but anything I get out of it, I want to use it like this, be it a guaranteed upgrade, and let me go do something else. I'm wasting time in R5. I don't mind that I'm farming it, but like everything I'm grinding, I should have instant gratification. I'm an impatient zoomer. I want everything right now. So I want my +1 speed. I want my guarantee. Oh man, the fucking 4 to 5 roll. How many 50% did you lose on your legend grinds?
Oh, plenty.
4.
The one I hate more is like you have like 6 attack legendary Vios. 5, 5, 6, 5, 7, 5.
Enough of it. Enough. Honestly, enough.
And you leave with a purple grind basically.
Yeah.
I've heard thousands and thousands of crystals of farming. You leave with a purple grind.
That might be the
same with
best
gems that can roll 9, and then you have your legend gem can end up being a mid-rolled purple. It's like fuck.
Well, enchants, like when you finally have that one enchant that you wanted on that rune for so long. 9.
Yep.
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
I know. It's infuriating.
Now blue gems would have assuming they don't change numbers, blue gems have value now, because you slap in your blue gem to hopefully get a 9. Or I think it goes up to 9, right?
It goes up to 9, yeah.
Purple, and then
it's 5 to 9
or something, right? At least +1 every time, guaranteed progression. Yeah. That's the big thing I want for 2023. Let my R5 farming mean something in a shorter time frame. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense.
Yeah,
that's what I want.
think if you actually make certain things easier to farm, you are also more likely to allow yourself to add more content to farm other things.
That's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting at. Like, I shouldn't be wasting my time in R5 so much.
And you just create a better user experience. Like that's all there's.
Because you're not doing the same shit over and over.
Yeah,
that's the cool thing about Chronicles. You're limited to how much you can do something, but it's very fast to get your one thing.
Yep.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I need to keep farming.
Yeah.
Chronicles,
no, I agree. I mean, as far as RTA goes, though, I mean, I would just like to see these balance patches get a little bit more like in depth. Like I just don't it just doesn't make sense to me from like the outside looking in, how it's like, okay, we've got Oliver and Masha, their pick rates are very close, they're both extremely strong in their respective things. We buffed the Masha because of the Oliver, we nerf Oliver, we don't touch Masha. I just don't get it. Like conceptually I just don't understand it.
Where it's totally understand that one, because Oliver is the cause and Masha is the response.
Yeah.
Whereas the cause had 53% win rate and the response had like 49, even against Oliver. So I understand Masha not being nerfed.
I don't get it. I think she's way too strong. I mean, I think it's like best wind unit, best fire unit, and then best water being Shizuka. And then I don't know. It just seems to like. It seems too fan service to just like only gut the one. I mean, everyone agrees Oliver needed to be nerfed, but it's like it was already really difficult to pick a wind unit before. Now it's even harder because he's just, if he was your one wind unit that fit into your comp because he had the speed lead and whatever, well, he's now bad. So you better reconfigure.
Oliver is definitely not bad. I think they put Oliver in a decent spot where he's still usable. So I think with the balance they did on the Oliver Masha, I would have liked the Shizuka cannot do as to himself. But besides that, I kind of like how they did Oliver Masha in this case.
I hate it. I mean, I like what they did to Oliver. I think he's where he should be now. But I just don't get why they don't follow suit and do it. Well, I mean, I get the argument, like the win rate argument. Basically what that... Like the issue with win rate is there's no nuance to it, right? Which in the game there is nuance, but it's like, so Oliver was probably beating a wider range of comps, right? Which makes him overall stronger, gives him a higher win rate, etc. Whereas Masha's probably beating a lower range of comps, but the comps that she's beating, she's probably kicking the shit out of them because she's so strong. I just don't like I don't like that they only go after the one that, like, if Leo is completely eliminating all these units from the meta, those units are now gone, they're out of the meta, so Leo's win rate is going to never be too crazy. But does that mean Leo's okay? Like, to me, no. Like, I think if one unit eliminates half the units in the potential monster pool, just because his win rate then dips after he's kicked those units out, that doesn't make him okay to me. You know what I mean? Like, I think Masha is still so fucking strong. Maybe she beats a lower range of units that Oliver beats, but the units that she beats, she just fucking crushes, because every 2 turns, it's an auto kill. Like,
well, true and false, because Dominic being a wind unit one-shotting Marsha is still a thing.
Well, one-shotting off the horse, maybe, but then she's also a nemesis, and then lights something up with her S2. It's like, even that she has counterplay versus.
That, so I think there's enough counterplay to Marsha, where Marsha is actually one of the few most picked units that is under 50% win rate. I'm just checking the win rates right now, but she's actually one of the very few units in the top 10 most picked that is slightly under 50. So
yeah, I mean, I think she's terrible into the Shizuka centered, like, basically the comps that can build a wall against her and not lose a unit every time her S2 is available, they do really well into her. And because she's picked so early in drafts, a lot of people do just see her and then build the wall and then fight her. And that's obviously going to hurt her win rate. But if that's not the type of team that you play, that's not going to be the result that you experience. You're just going to lose a unit every second time she takes a turn. You're just going to lose a unit. I don't know. It's just it's tough to judge. I mean, I don't put no value in win rates, but it's more of a picture of the scale of teams that they fight or that they beat, as opposed to how powerful they are versus the things that they're good against.
I think what this is my take on Masha, like, as of now. If you first pick Masha, her win rate will suck, because there's no reason to first pick Masha.
You just build the wall versus her. You pick the Shizuka, you pick something, you try to set up a Leo draft, etc.
Because Masha as the turn 2 counter is, like, she's one of, like, on paper, I love what she does. Like, sure, like, as her response to wind units, as a respectable turn 2 unit, I think she's great. But the thing is, she's just, her speed scaling, like, in terms of if they were to ever nerf her again, or if they do nerf her, sorry.
It's those stacks.
Just like the stacks, either reduce it or remove it. Like, she still does a lot regardless. But what we might be seeing less Masha plays is because people know I can't draft wind units anymore this early on. So either Masha's going to be put into the position where she's going to be used against early drafters of, like, the wind units. So people are forcing Chunk Pung. The more Chunk Pung players are the only ones that are going early wind. They already know Masha is coming. They have some sort of counterplay to it. That's that. But then the other one is, like, the people first pick Shizuka. They still don't take any wind units because they already know what the fuck is coming. Aside from maybe Dominic, they will draft early. And then they go into, Rakuni, because I'm thinking of 20 star for some reason. Let's say Rakuni. And then Masha's still not... Masha's there. There's no way in fuck she's not ruined, and there's no way in fuck she's not considered to be drafted. But they're leaving that scenario for Masha to be thrown out at a later time in the draft. And I think that does affect the gameplay, because then you want to take your wind units against the Shizuka, but you don't want to take your own Masha into the Shizuka. And you're stuck in this stupid loop.
Yeah, it's a weird...
in this loop. And if we think about it, when they nerfed Oliver, like we said earlier, but if they also nerfed Shizuka and Masha a hair at the same time, would that have been a bad thing? Where it gives other units that were just below them a chance to go.
I mean, they need to lower the ceiling, because for as long as Masha exists, what do you do to create a fire unit that does more than she does?
Yeah.
How do you how do you release one? What would that fire unit have to do to be a better fire damage dealer than Masha?
But like fucking Zima, like it just has to be more support units. That's where you can't topple Masha.
But I'm just saying, like within the same vein of what she does, it was the same thing with Oliver. How the fuck, if you didn't ever nerf Oliver, how how are you going to release wind units? How are you going to sell wind units that even compare? Like, most people are going to look at what you released and go, yeah, I'll just keep using Oliver. I don't like, why the fuck?
With Chung Pung now. And I think about it, like if they did reduce Masha, Shizuka, and Oliver, all three at the same time, all I see is Chung Pung just skyrocketing again. And but then again, that just says nerf Chung Pung again.
Yeah, I mean they just don't respond quickly enough to that stuff, you know. Those units stay broken for two seasons plus, and then
it's too late.
You want to hear something funny?
Please.
I was just checking up the win rates and the pick rates of Special League right now.
Yeah.
Guess the pick rate of Asher.
80, 85,
73.
That's good.
That's basically all of
3.5% win rate.
Please tell me the top two stars. I know it's going to be Royd and Lulu, but how high is it? And Kona, I'm sure, is like third place.
Lulu's actually most picked at 37, Kona's 26, and Royd is 20. But from those three,
I mean, that's ridiculously high.
Lulu is 48 win rates, Kona is almost 50, just below, and Royd is 51.5.
Aha! That's what I expected.
Yeah.
So Royd is actually best of the 2 stars.
I mean, I'm so sick of these like rerun special leagues at this point. Like,
yeah, that's true. Man.
I'm just dude,
I gotta
just stop
like
doing
60
them.
units.
Yeah, especially for like 20 and 4-star, you got to rerun everything. But it's like, if they're not gonna make any effort to balance it or anything like that, just stop doing them. Like, I would rather Special League not exist than have to go through a league where Lulu costs 2 stars and Escher costs 3 stars. He has the best base stat distribution pretty much in all of Summoners, where Nat 5's included. And he counts...
Yeah, 2A should cost +1.
It's like, what the... You can't make him cost 3. Like, it makes no sense.
Yeah, the thing is, like, the 2As absolutely make no fucking sense whatsoever. They should cost +1 instantly. Yep. Like, Ashes should be 4-star because his base stats is 4.5-star. Lulu is 4.5-star base.
Yeah, they're
2-star.
They're 4.5-star totals, but the distribution is better than most 5-stars. It's like,
true.
Like, total wise, like, yeah, he has wicked shit base attack, but he doesn't scale on attack at all. So it's like, who cares? You know what I mean? Yeah. His distribution is incredible. I don't even know where he is, but
it's perfect in my eyes. Well, you talking about Vigor or Escher?
Escher.
Okay, you're still on Escher. Yeah.
Yeah, like this distribution is unbelievable. This is a Chow with 115 base speed. Like, this is fucking insane. Like,
isn't he higher base HP than Chow?
It might be. I think Chow's also 13 something, isn't he?
Probably beats him in base HP and Zerath, but the rest probably doesn't even beat him.
Yeah, that distribution is just unbelievable, and it's like, oh yeah, he costs 3 stars in this league. That's great. Yeah, he's got 170 more than even Chow. He's a Nat 5 HP
defense
type.
Is near same.
Yeah, pretty much same defense. 15 more speed, better skill kit. This one costs 5. Escher costs 3.
Higher attack.
Like,
barely higher attack.
Yeah, but that would be wasted stats on the Escher. It's like him having dog shit attack is perfect for him. He doesn't use it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
No, it's like
that's wild.
They got to do something with Special League. Think of new ones or just stop doing it, because this is bullshit. Like, this, even Acelia. Like, I mean, I'm abusing the fuck out of Acelia, but this cannot be a 3-star
win rate units. Wait, she's 10% pick rate and 53.5% win rate. She's one of the highest win rate units.
Dude, this can't be a 3-star. It's not fair.
He has so much attack, man. 812.
Yeah.
Like, let's look at your box right now and how many units are above 800 from 5 stars.
I mean, even this is a fucking attack type, and he's not even close.
More? She has more attack than more.
She has higher attack than Water Ryu. Yeah.
That's stupid, right? What the fuck? I think none of your units have more attack than her base.
I mean, like Daphnis, but he's a nuker. Daphnis. But I mean,
what about Tark?
Same as Oliver. Oh, would you look at that? Oliver's base stats though are like cream of the crop, though. He's like, he's like top 1% as far as. Yeah, I mean, her base attack is like unmatched. I mean.
Yeah, exactly.
What about Tark? What was Tark?
700.
Oh, I thought he was way
higher. That's a proper 2-star base stat.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, if you make Tark 2A, this thing will have like fucking 1,000 attack or some shit. Well, probably like 850, but it's insane, right?
Yeah, no. It's they gotta get rid of 20-star. I mean, I hate 4-star too because it's the same situation. Like Escher's still
they just gotta
so
up
good.
the stars of those units.
But like even if you gave him +1, you'd still be able to pick Escher in 4-star, and he's got the distribution of a 5-star, the skill set of a 5-star. It's like Lulu's skill kit is better than any Nat 5 cleansers that we have right now. She counts as 2. So it's like, fuck. I don't know, man. I don't know what they do. Special League is a lost cause in my mind.
Well, for 4-star, at least it kind of makes sense because it's still just like you can draft as many stars as you want.
Yeah.
That's like the moment you would do 4-star with a cap of 15-star, then is where you get real rockery, like right there.
Yeah.
We've given them so many ideas over the years what to like just test something in Special League. It doesn't matter if it becomes really dumb or really good.
Yeah.
It's 2 weeks. It doesn't matter. You can do anything, and then we put out a survey after the fact. Did you like this? Yes. Did you like it? No. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's Special League. Who cares? Ridiculous. Just test shit. Who cares?
Yeah. They should. But the thing is, within years, people have been telling them to do something different, and they haven't. So I think we're just gonna suffer with what we have.
The best example I can give you why Special League is outdated as fuck. If you go to Special League and you click on the rewards, I guess it's on info if you probably there and you go to rewards. Why the fuck do we still have top 100 for G3?
Yeah, I don't get it.
That's the most outdated thing ever. Like my first G3, I think it was in 2018. Was 2018? Yeah, I think 2018 in around December or November. And that was the very last top 100 G3 that you could get.
Yeah.
After that, it was top 300.
Yep.
How many years ago was that?
I mean,
that is 4 years. 4 years ago that they changed
this right
that
here
for
is
normal.
all you need to know, that this game mode is just completely neglected. This fucking queue is still broken.
Yeah.
Dude, we're like 5 seasons in, the queue is still broken.
And
what
they
the
know
fuck?
about it. It's been brought up to them, and they just
like it has been directly brought up to them.
Yeah.
It's
nothing.
Because I know some people are like, oh, do you think they know? And it's like, they fucking better know. Like, how can they not know?
They know. They actually, like, I do know for a fact that there is people like from EU office, NA office, reading Reddits, watching videos.
Yeah.
They literally have that as a job, more or less. Or it's part of their job.
Yep.
And they give that towards HQ, and HQ also watches their part from their own communities on like these occasions. But in the end, I do know that they see most things.
Yep.
And then whatever they do with it is up to them. That's
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, like
it's brutal.
It's blatant on like that example like that.
I think it's 5 or 6 special leagues now that's been broken. It's ever since they changed regular
ever
RTAs
since that you cannot get legend in RTA during the season.
Yeah, as soon as it switched over to legend tournament
as well. Yeah, I got Special League Legend as well. And at that time, you didn't have the Legend queue thing because it was before the moment you had like different queues than other people.
Yep. But yeah, all right. I mean, we can call it there. This is already our longest episode ever, so we can.
What
is it?
Is it?
Oh my god, yeah, by a long shot.
What?
But,
how long? Aside, even the Chronicles one, it's not
like an hour 49. Yeah.
Okay, end it now.
You can almost split it at 2.
Yeah, seriously. But yeah, I mean, it was good though. I mean, I like it. It's nice while like RTA is down right now that we just kind of talk about like the overarching, issues with the game that aren't necessarily just blah blah blah. This unit's too strong or whatever. More of like the general feel of the game and stuff like that. But
I remember when we first started WAP, we said we're never going to do like quality of life discussion, but goddamn, Chronicles really opened our eyes on like how dumpster Skyrim is.
Thank you so much for joining us, Sei. Appreciate it.
No worries. Love to be here.
By the way, I pulled Tian Lang.
We didn't even talk about it. Fuck you. All right, we're gonna end it on that. Fuck for us. He's a sucker. All right. Peace out.
Peace. Good.